I'm Dr. Anne-Marie Belkansky, and I really just wanted to share today about a meditation that I had recently. So for those that don't know me, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, also a medical doctor, and I am a very avid meditator, and I love meditation because meditation is like hypnosis. And so I go into trance every single day. If you want to learn about meditation, be sure to check out this channel because I do talk about it in here. But today it's going to be a bit deep, and I'm just going to talk about this experience because it was an extremely beautiful experience that I just want to share my personal insight in hopes that maybe someone else can gain from it. So a lot of the work that I do is, inner child work, of course. Like I've helped people with inner child. I take them into a trance and I help them connect with their feeling, their body, their emotions. And the hurt parts or the shadow parts tend to be young or little or from our childhood that I go back to. And when we go back to those experiences, especially if you're in a trance or if you're in and if you don't know what trance is, be sure to check out my videos in order to understand it. But it's a very natural state that you've been in. And when you go into a hypnotic trance state or meditative type of state where you're really immersed in the feeling, what happens is you revivify. It's like you relive, re-experience it as though you are there. And when you do this with a trained practitioner, because obviously you don't want to do this on your own if you're dealing with some heavy stuff, because what the trained practitioner does is helps you to pull you out of the experience or give you what you need in that experience. That way you're not sitting in a space of darkness, if that makes sense, for a long period of time. But I digress. So when you go into those spaces and you relive those experiences, you're literally jumping a timeline. You're literally in that time. And that's something that was really profound today for me, that I was reliving my experiences as though I was there because I was there. And when you hear about people talking about timeline therapy or quantum jumping, this is it. So let me explain what happened in my meditation, and then I can kind of bridge everything together. So when I meditate, I hear, I can say auditorily, like I get guidance from my higher self, my guides, however you want to call it. But I do get like very wise guidance from a wise aspect within me. And that voice just tells me, think about times when you, that you really loved and that you felt free, like you felt amazing, you felt great, you were like beautiful experiences. So the first memory I went to was the beach. So I started off recent. I went to the beach. And I live in Florida, so I love the beach. I'm close to it. I go there every weekend. And I was just reliving that. I was revivifying it completely. And then it told me go even further back. And so I started going further back into my youth. And so I went to moments, all of the moments were when I was in nature, either that be hiking or looking at blades of grass or watching ants or watching animals and ducks, at ponds or it was just always about nature that I felt amazing, free, just alive. And there was one moment that I went back to that wasn't a really long time ago, but it just was a very powerful moment where I was hiking in the, the canyons. It wasn't Grand Canyon, but it was in the canyons. And this was the first time I ever gone there. And I was driving across country and I went to the canyons and I hiked. It was like a 5-hour hike. It was a pretty long one. And I relived all of it all the way through. And I felt like I was there. I revivified it completely, where I could even feel the sweat at moments on my body. And I remembered what I was wearing. I could feel my clothes, and I was just walking. And there was a point in my hike that, there was a destination I was getting to, which was kind of a peak of a canyon. And so I had to do a little bit of climbing. And so I climbed up that peak, and I got to the top of this canyon. and I could see all around me, and it was so beautiful. It was like probably one of my most glorious memories of like scenes of seeing nature. And wind was hitting my face, and it was super windy, and it was so windy that I was like even scared I was gonna like fall. And at that moment though, I just like I started crying like on this peak, and I started crying, and I just felt so grateful. And at that moment, and I'm sorry if I choke up because it's really beautiful to think about it, to relive it again. I said to myself, "You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're just look what you did." That it was during a point in my life where I was really in a not such a great place during that time, and so I felt like I achieved something when I did that hike. And it was just a very peak moment for me. And I was kind of patting myself on the back, like, you did it. You're doing what you've dreamed to do, to travel. And I realized that in that moment that I was telling myself, the past self, that you're beautiful, you're this, that was me. In this very moment, in that moment that I'm meditating, I'm telling myself this then. But actually, I already told myself that then, because I was already in this timeline. And so that really clicked for me. And this may be hard for some to understand it, but I was on my hike in the past, but I was actually living it again now, because it's happening right now. Because time does not exist. And so at that moment that I'm on the peak crying because I feel glorious, beautiful, amazing, and like I achieved something, I'm meditating and I'm telling myself that. And so I was with myself. My future self, which is me now, was with me then. And so that was a really profound moment, because when you feel like that, and I do this for my clients where I take them into past events, into their childhood, and I have their adult self give them what it is that they need, to tell them what they need during difficult times. And when they sit with themselves for the first time, in that trance experience, it feels real. It feels like you're really there with them, because you are there with them. And so coming back to this moment now, while I was meditating, that wise voice came through again. And what happened was interesting, because it said, "Let me show you where I am now." And that was like, what? And then I immediately got a shot of me in a future where you can't see it because my hair's up, but I have I have short dreads. My dreads are up to here, but my dreads were like really, really long, like down to my back. And I was like, holy crap, my dreads are super long. I was in nature. I was in a new place that I haven't been to, that I've never seen presently. And I was also with my future dog that I've never seen. And this must be far in the future, because I do not, my dog, she's 9, so she's getting up there. And so being that my dreads were super long, it definitely was multiple years in a linear understanding in the future. But I felt everything, and that was really powerful. And so I felt like massive amounts of love, massive amounts of acceptance, confidence. I felt all of the things that I'd worked towards and working towards. And that was me. And so it was just really powerful, because it just showed that time does not exist, and that we do choose timelines that we experience. And I have already chosen a timeline that I'm experiencing. And this is what quantum healing is. This is how you can quantum jump into future experiences based on how you feel, though. That's the thing. Like, feelings and emotions are the quantum level, because that is how when we talk about DNA, that is the imprinting, that is the shifting of the DNA, and that's the quantum jumping. Because if you think of linear time is a very line. But if you take a piece of let me get a piece of paper here, but if you take a piece of paper and fold it, there's a point where it connects. And that connection point is how you can quantum jump, because time is not linear. Time is like folded, and there's multiple folds and multiple ridges, and that is the experience of real time. Time is just an illusion in order for us to understand it in this 3D reality, to make sense of it all. So I digress in a sense when I went on a tangent, because the main point of this video was for me to just explain and highlight the timeline therapy and quantum jumping and healing and giving yourself what it is. But the most important thing is that you really immerse yourself into that experience, because it's not about the mind or the thinking mind, the analytical mind. It's about the body, the subconscious mind, the physical feeling and experience that really can shift things. And then we get into topics like what real manifestation is. I hope that makes sense. So if you enjoyed this video, this talk, please feel free to just send me a message below, or comment, or give me any feedback. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you'd like to hear more. And until next time, have a great day.